Hi everybody, Dr. Monica Oganda here, your business mentor, and I am here with a tip that I think is going to help you very, very much for your masterful Mondays. So one of the biggest challenges that service professionals, particularly coaches, consultants, people that provide a personal service like that, based on their expertise and based on results that they provide for their clients, one of the biggest challenges that they mostly have is this idea of overcoming sales objections. So I wanted to give you a framework that I think you'll find useful in making sure that you are getting connected to your ideal clients, the ones that would have the least amount of objections and the ones that are ready to say yes to you. And in the case of objections, give you a graceful, elegant, and professional posture to overcome them. So here we go. The first step is that you've got to expect it. You've got to expect that there will be some kind of pushback. And it may not necessarily be what you think. It may not necessarily be the objection that you're expecting. It may be about value. It may be about the delivery mechanism that you provide for your service. Whatever it is that someone may have a concern about, the first step is to expect it. The second step is to reframe it. So it's not so much an objection as much as it is a request. Right? And so when you have it as though it is a request, then there's some negotiation. Then there's a conversation for creating win-win and collaborating in a way that feels good to you to provide it and that feels good for them to say yes and commit to it. So then step 3 is to really practice. If you want to be masterful and confident in handling any kind of sales conversations, you want to practice. This is one of the reasons why with my private clients we do a lot of role playing, because it helps to get the words out elegantly and effortlessly. And sometimes you have to go through the first 2 or 3 rounds of fumbling through your words so that you can get your articulation and your confidence and be able to deliver it succinctly and elegantly. So I want you to practice. That's the 3rd step. And then the 4th step is really to have the confidence in your professional posture, in the value that you provide, and in the way that you're articulating it that will support the people that you want to work with the most to be able to move forward with you. So those are the 4 steps in terms of the context of this conversation. Now, I want to give you some of the most common sales objections. Again, we're calling them requests. So they are actually requests for either more information or for some level of negotiation or collaboration. The first one is people usually say something like, not ready. So I have to get some things handled first, or, I'm just not sure I can commit to it right now. That's that not ready conversation. The second one is no time. My plate is full. I can't take on anything at this time. I'm not sure I have the time for this. Okay. The third one is no money. Can't afford it. Or, that seems expensive. That seems like more than what I can afford. Okay. Fourth, being unsure of value. I'm not sure that this is for me, or I'm not sure that this is going to really help me. I feel like I should be able to do this on my own. Typically, when somebody comes to you in a consultation, one of those demonstration or free complimentary consultations, it's typically because they already know that they can't do it on their own. But we'll get to that. Now, the next one is I have to check with a third party. So what does that look like? Maybe I have to talk to my husband or my wife or my partner or my business partner or my board. So there's a lot of ways that we can talk about the role of the third party. Sometimes that third party is simply an accountability mechanism, right? So in my businesses, when someone has to make a buying decision of a certain amount of money and beyond, they do need to check with a third person. And so that's for accountability purposes and to make sure that we're following due diligence, et cetera, et cetera. So that may be the conversation there. But sometimes it's about trust. It's about trusting myself to make a good decision, and the other person is just a sounding board to make sure that I'm on the right track. This is a self-trust conversation. We'll get into that a little bit later. The next one is thinking about it. I have to think about it. I'm not an impulse decision maker. I don't make decisions on the spot. I want to sleep on it. I want to take some time and think about it, etc. That's a common one as well. And then the next one is interviewing other people that do what you do, that offer what you offer. They want to interview other coaches or other accountants or other dentists or other lawyers, etc. You want to speak to somebody else that has your level of expertise. So what are the steps in handling objections? What are the steps in handling these seeming roadblocks? The first step is to, as with every human conversation, is just to acknowledge the person and where they are. So if whatever it is that comes out of their mouth, I understand how you feel, and I can really appreciate your concern. Or, yeah, you're right, it is a big decision, right? So you're acknowledging where they are in the moment. There's not a yeah, but to their yeah, but coming from you, right? Then the second step is that you want to always put the decision in their court, the ball in their court. You're respecting them and honoring them enough to have them make the decision and lead the conversation, as it were, at least psychologically. And so the second step is really to use the pivot. So for example, if they say, whatever it is that they say, I can't really afford this right now. I understand that it is a big decision and that I appreciate your concern. So do you want me to let you go right now, or would you like to talk about that a little bit more? So you can use what I call the pivot question. And it's just a way to give them the lead, to create permission for you to go further based on a decision that they made. You're supporting them in making decisions over and over again in that conversation. So you ask something like, if they say whatever the objection is, I understand how you feel and I can really appreciate your concern. So there's two things that we can do right now. I can support you in talking about that a little bit and seeing how maybe I can support you and address your concern. Or we could just wrap it up right now. Which one would you prefer? And give them the option. If they say that they want to wrap it up, okay, well, I appreciate the time that you spent with me. What did you find most valuable? And let's hear from them what they found valuable about the time that they spent with you. This is useful for two reasons. One is that they leave the conversation in a positive note, thinking about what was valuable and how they're going to use that. Further on in the next 24, 48 hours or a week, what action are they going to take on what they have found valuable? And then the second piece is for you. When you hear a potential client articulating what they found valuable, that helps you with your marketing materials, with your sales materials, and with subsequent sales conversations. Okay? Now, if they say that they want to unpack it a little bit, then that's a great option for you to continue to address and coach to the objection. So you want to discover the real concern and really coach the actual issue, right? And remind the person of what they said during the consultation about what they really wanted and how they're going to feel when they're going to get it and how they're going to feel when they don't, right? So you want to authentically share why you believe that the best decision the person could possibly make right then is to invest in themselves through whatever it is that you're offering. That's step number 3. And so I go through this in a lot more depth with sample scripts and some role-playing examples in my program called Your Profitable Customer Pathway. You can learn more about it on the link below so that you can get those sample scripts. You can start really mastering those sales conversations and get on your way to more clients that you love working with and that they love paying you. I hope that this is helpful. I will talk to you soon.